live bait is critical in this, and understanding how to pinpoint it, how to target it, how to catch it, making sure that it's fresh, making sure that it stays fresh in the boat. Having live well systems like our CV that just has great water flow, and understanding how much water flow you're supposed to have. You don't want to overdo it for them, you don't want to underdo it for the fish. It's really important to understand that live bait so that it stays fresh as long as it possibly can. A fresh bait out there is very tempting to a king mackerel. If they get outside of the school a little bit, that's their protection, is a school of fish. If we present something to them that's outside of it a little bit outside of the normal, but it looks natural, that's when the strike oftentimes occurs.
Day 3 of fishing this weekend. Today is the fall Brawl King Mackerel tournament, and out here looking for bait in fog. So a lot of fun, but we'll see what happens this day.
You know, the fog was thick, and you know, it was this time of year it can be tough. The bait can be everywhere, it can be nowhere, and you know, it could be on the beach, and we just weren't sure. We hadn't had a whole lot of time to research and find out, but based on history and the things that my sons have been able to do with the charter fishing and just the history of tournament fishing, we know where some bait could be and maybe should be. So in the fog, it was hard. It was dangerous. So we're thankful to have, you know, the radar and all the technology that we had with the Sirius XM weather, all of those things. But long and short of it, we went to a spot that we felt like bait should be. And again, Joshua and Crockett can see just about anything. And they saw one real quick flip. Joshua threw the net, pancaked it, caught plenty of bait. We were off, and you know, pretty fortunate there, and not always like that, but it was on this event. And you know, so the bait wasn't the concern. We were out ready to go fishing, choosing our spot and see what we can find.
Summertime, it's not uncommon at all to catch 300 or 400 in a net and have to throw a bunch back, but later in the year they get more scattered and run in smaller schools, so it can take a lot more work. Now we're going to run out of Bug Inlet, and we're going to head about 20 miles to the south, where we heard there were some fish being caught over the last few days, and we're going to give that a shot to start with.
We picked an area coming out of our inlet here, running south, because we're right at the northern boundary line, so we needed to fish south on this, and we know where fish can hold during this time of year. And we saw a lot of birds running through the fog. It was real swelly, so took a little while to get to where we wanted to fish. And you know, we saw it looked real fishy. It was good bait, but it was hard to see other boats around and that kind of thing. But saw a lot of birds, a lot of gulls that were you know, picking up little pieces of bait that Spanish mackerel and bluefish were out there. So it looked really good. We got one bite and then bait cut in half. It was a little frustrating, but we fished a couple of different spots that were fairly close in, you know, in 40, 45 feet of water, and you know, even in toward the piers, you know, and trying to get in there, because this time of year, some of those big cow kingfish, so those females get in there, and you know, all you got to do is get the right bite. You know, it's not going to be necessarily the bite that we might experience up in Hatteras, a huge fish often, you know, catching 30 fish a day. This might be a 1 or 2 fish day, and that's what we're looking for in this event. Yep. Troll the Edge is brought to you by Taco Marine, Troll the Edge, and CV Boats, lead the way, and Mercury Marine, go boldly. The thing about king mackerel fishing is, where do you go? You know, what gives you the best opportunity to catch fish? And you know, we had given ourselves a chance at some spots right close to the beach, close to some piers. We tried a couple of different spots, had a little bit of information from some people that fish were being caught. There's quite a few boats around. Didn't see a lot of activity. Saw a couple of fish being caught, but it just didn't quite feel right. And you know, Crockett and Joshua were talking about a location about 45 miles away further south, and we had to really kind of make a decision, hey, do we want to do that? Because we had gotten out into the middle of the day. We felt like we needed to give it our best chance through a bite time. It just didn't happen for us. So, you know, we were talking about it for a few minutes, and finally, you know, we just made a really collective decision. Hey, let's do it. Let's go. We can get there. We can run about 40 miles an hour. It's going to take us a little over an hour to get there. And you know, it was you know, we weren't real sure, but we're glad we did, because once we got there, fishing turned on pretty well. There were a couple other boats around, not a lot, but a few. And you know, it was really nice to see that first strike. It hit. I think we had a double, if I'm not mistaken. And we caught one fish, put it in the boat. It was about 18 pounds. The next one was a 21, 22 pounder. So that put us to where we knew we had to run to weigh the fish all the way down to Ocean Isle at that point, which was another long run. It was 45, 50 miles from there. And but it put us to where we knew we had to have a good fish right in about that range to make sure that we were able to qualify and fish for the championship of the Kingfish Cup.
I don't know how big the other one was.
I never saw the other one.
Definitely better. Nice. Much better.
All right.
Yeah.
We can run.
Good job, Madison.
Good job.
Killed the bait. I killed one of them.
This turned out to be a really, really good move for us. You know, it doesn't always pay off like that, but it did this time. We really were struggling in the day. Had that one bite early on, made the move, and we got there. We caught those two fish. We put baits right out. I was putting a bluefish out, and boom, a 34-pound kingfish skied on it and hooked up. I handed the rod to Crockett. He fought it. We put it in the box. We knew then that we had a really good fish for this event.
As the angler, my job is to get every fish that we hook up to into the boat. There's a lot of big fish that are going to be caught this weekend, and you got to make them count.
Forward left. Easy, easy, easy. Just one in gear because this fish is spooking. Okay. One in gear. Neutral. Neutral. Straight. Straight. Forward.
Stick it. Stick it. Got him?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
There we go. Okay.
Yes.
Woo! Woo! You hit it to scale?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Probably. Open the bag. Open the bag. Open the bag.
So for the Kingfish Cup series, you have to have a hand signal for the fish as soon as you get it in the boat. Before the fish is dead, you have to take a picture of it. And the signal for this one, the little kid that came up with it, and touching your nose was the signal.
Yeah, after we get a fish like that kind of late in the day, we got about another 15 minutes that we can fish, and then if we don't head in, we won't make it to the weigh-in in time. Catch a big fish late like that, you got to get on it and you know, find the best path back to the scales in the least amount of time.
Did you see it come across like this?
And we had another double hookup. Downrigger popped, hooked up with that one.
And then I looked up and I saw the bluefish on the short line. I saw the fish eat the bait. And Madison grabbed that rod, fed it back to the fish, hooked up. My fish pulled off pretty quick. It was a small king, probably around 15 pounds. But finally we got on top of Madison's fish and got a really good look at it and see that it was a really decent fish. It was hard to tell if it was any bigger than the one that we had in the boat or not.
We got a nice fish on. It is 3:55 and we've got to be running by 4 o'clock. So this is it's pretty nerve-wracking here. But that's part of king mackerel fishing. You just never know. That's why you keep the baits in the water as long as you can. And you know, we're probably gonna have to look. I've got 2 in. Probably got a 2 right. We'll probably have to put a little more pressure on this fish, more than we normally want to. We got small hooks and heavy drag. You can pull a hook in a heartbeat on these soft fish if it's not in its mouth. I think it is, but
Nothing. Coming back. Coming back right here. Can't tell.
4 o'clock.
Forward, please. Forward. Right. Neutral.
Put it on him, Madison.
Reverse, please. Don't gun it, though. Do not gun it.
Just in reverse.
Reverse.
There you go.
All right. That's a good fish.
I think that's better.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
You need help? You need help?
We need a picture.
Got a picture? Yeah, that's a better fish.
I think we boated the fish at 4:02, and we decided that our cutoff was 4 o'clock, that we needed to get to weigh-in time. So we had to push it to get to the scales in time, but it ended up being a good decision. Her fish was a little over a pound heavier than the one that I had just caught. So it ended up winning us a little bit more money with that one. Finally got to the scales to actually get a look at the fish and see how big it is. Looks like it's probably around 35 pounds, a lot bigger than we thought. So feeling all right now.
Wow, what a few days of fishing. Holy smokes. Hatteras 2 days down here in Onslow Bay. 2 34 or 5 pound fish right at the end of the day. My God, king mackerel fishing at its best. It's a lot of fun. It's very frustrating sometimes. Lost a monster fish yesterday. But you know what? That's part of it. And we came out, we had a good time, and you know, it's exciting to be here with the kids and family, and Madison joining the team, and it's all good. It's exciting times.
35.45, 35.45. Good job, guys.
So here we are at weigh-in again, and we're south. We're a long way from home. We're about 2.5 hours from my home, and so we call Audrey, and you know what? She went into little general mode, man. I got to tell you, she's driving the dually. She's bringing the trailer down right by herself. She's pretty fantastic. So it's pretty cool. She got there. We weighed this cool fish. It wound up doing some good for us. Won a little bit of money, and just the experience of it was exciting because everything that was going on that weekend, all the tournaments, Lady Angler at Madison doing a great job. You know, it was pretty neat. The whole family aspect of it really played into what was going on in this weekend. Shade Fin by Taco Marine. Shade Fin is a lightweight, versatile shade system that easily attaches into rod holders, tops, and arches for convenient portable boat shade. Its 5-foot by 6-foot footprint and 50+ UPF rating protect you from the sun so you can enjoy the water longer while doing what you love. Learn more about Shade Fin on tacomarine.com. Shade Fin, shadow in seconds. We're going to be going offshore fishing for wahoo, dolphin, sailfish, a lot of cool bottom fish with our liquid fire sport fishing.
We're about 65 miles out of Bogue Inlet at the northeast corner of the Big Rock. We're going to start out in about about 200 feet of water, and just kind of work out between there and 350 and see if we can find out where some bait's holding and where some wahoo might be. We're going to start the day trolling for wahoo, see if we can get lucky on one or two of them, and then we might do a little bottom fishing, some red porgy or some triggerfish a little later on. See it jumping out there? Straighten up a little bit. All right, straighten up. All right, start the circle. Running good, wasn't it? Yeah. Take off a little bit. There he is. Hold on. I was going to touch it so we can get the fish.
All right, right there. Touch the wire, touch the wire. All right, release. All right, slow us down, guys. Wires.
Alright.
Nice fish too. Pretty fish. Really not supposed to pull these out of the water, so we're gonna have it boat side. Gave us a great fight, a lot of fun. Crockett did a great job angling. Joshua did a wonderful job keeping it on the fish. We starboard. Pretty fish, a good size one too. A lot of fun. Feels good. Biting on my fingers a little bit. See the sail, this one split a little bit. Gorgeous fish. Alright, so we're gonna let him go. I think he's good. There she goes. Feels good. So when it initially hit, it popped it out of the outrigger clip, and I started feeding it back, and I could feel the bill hit the bait. And I just fed it back until it finally ate it, and hooked up and put on a show right at the beginning. Made several jumps, peeled a lot of line off, but fish still had plenty of energy when we got it to the boat. Got a nice clean release.
You know, my sons are really good fishermen. I've mentioned that, and it's exciting to see them care so much about the charters that hire them to take them offshore. If they go out and fish for wahoo or sailfish or mahi, it's really important that they put the customer in the opportunity to have an exciting day, put meat in the box, make sure that they go home with all the things that they had with the experience for fun, exciting, fight the fish, get to be able to eat the fish, and you know the knowledge that they gained over the years from water temperatures, bait, where it is in the water column, how to make presentation. It's really important, and they've done a great job of making sure that their clients have a lot of fun on the water. They get a lot of return business. The customers really enjoy it. They like teaching them. They're kind to them. That means a lot when you're out there and you spend a lot of money to having somebody take you offshore. It's really good to have somebody care about what they're doing so that you learn and have a good time. Troll the Edge was brought to you by Sirius XM Marine for fish mapping and all of your offshore weather data, and Canon Downriggers, run deep.
Sir. The wahoo? I think so. it didn't jump, so I don't think it's a sailfish. Definitely has speed to be a wasp. I got one coming up.
Okay.
Peeled it.
Yeah, it peeled it off pretty good. Fish ran hard. Hopefully it's a good wahoo.
Acting like a pretty good sized fish.
That's what you want.
Slow down. More right. Circle right. All right, slow down. Get it. Hey, wahoo in the boat, finally.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. That works.
Mission accomplished.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo. All right, that's hold them up for a picture.
I don't want it. My arm.
What do you think?
The fish being foul hooked in the gut like that made it run like a much larger fish and fight like a much larger fish. I don't fight a lot of fish anymore. About wore me out.
That was the third bait that fish hit.
By the end of the season, a lot of the teams, especially the ones that fish as many tournaments as we do, they're kind of burned out. They're ready for the season to end, ready to have a break. But come December, they're already thinking about the next year. They're talking about what are we going to fish next year. They're watching the websites of the tournaments to see when they announce their dates. And so they're already, by December, they're all ready for the next season to start. It's just an addictive sport.